guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is going to be part 2 of my little spring makeup tutorial. I wanted to show you guys kind of full circle all of it, the face, the lips, the eyes, and everything. So as you guys already saw in part 1, it was all focused on the eyes, and this was more like the face. Now I did do a talk through tutorial for both of these, which is why I didn't want to combine them, because I didn't really want it to be like a 30-minute video. So I decided to break it into the 2 parts. In this one, I'm just going to be showing you how I achieve this face right here. It's more of a natural matte face, I would say. I really like this for the springtime because we're kind of in that transition between, like, you know, the all matte smoky looks versus the glowy summery dewy looks. So let's just get started. As you can see, I don't know if it comes off on camera, I do have a lot of shininess here on my forehead, kind of on my chin, not too much like on the sides of my nose. It's mainly just on my forehead. That's the oiliest place on my face, I would say. Now, how I like to achieve a full matte face, I start out with the Hard Candy Mattifying Primer. It's just their Sheer Envy Shine Free. I absolutely love this stuff. First of all, it comes from the drugstore, so it's super inexpensive, which is always a plus. And second of all, this is the best primer that I have ever seen or used that has like controlled my oils. And I like to rub first just to dispense the product, and then I'll take and kind of pat the product in just so it really soaks up those excess oil. And because I'm extra and I just like what I like on my face, I go in with the NYX Pore Filler or any sort of pore filling primer and just put this right on the sides of my nose in my most problematic areas. I kind of just rub it between my first fingers and then just start patting it into those areas where my pores are larger. I go between patting motions and swiping downward. I feel like whenever you kind of pull it down like this, it fills in the pores a little bit better. Now that we have our base down, I did let that set a little bit. I'm going to be trying out this City Color Photo Chic Dark Spot Corrector. I did just receive this in my Ipsy bag. I guess I'm going to try to apply it with my fingers first. It comes off really light whenever I swatch it. It is a very light peach color. It actually did a really good job of canceling out the darkness. My dark circles weren't too bad today. So I'm also going to do some color correcting. I love to color correct, especially if I'm going to be doing like a full face, full out glam. I will do color correcting. So I'm just going to be taking my NYX HD Studio Concealer in the green shade and putting this where I do have some redness, which is usually just right here beside my nose and a little on my chin. A little tip I like to do is I'll take a skin colored concealer. This is just the Wet n Wild concealer, and I'll apply this right on top of that green before you blend it out. It just really helps with the coverage of it. So now moving on to foundation, you guys. I just have to rave about this because I finally got on the train and got it. And it's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I got mine in the shade Shell Ivory, which I'm not sure if this is the lightest shade. It was the lightest one where I picked it up. I know some stores are kind of like only having a certain selection of the shades, but I am obsessed with this foundation. Like, if you haven't tried it, I was so skeptical just because I've tried a ton of drugstore foundations and I always go back to my Maybeline Fit Me. Like, it never fails. So I just decided, like, you know what, let me just try it. And I did. I honestly, there's no words that I could say bad about this foundation, so I definitely think you should try it if you haven't. So I'm going to kind of move in sections. I'm going to start with my cheek over here first, apply some of the foundation, and then I'm just going to take my beauty blender and just blend that in. Now, I do find the only bad thing that I could say about this foundation is the smell. I personally do not like it at all. It smells like paint. If you've ever like opened a fresh can of paint or painted a room or anything like that, you know that smell that I'm talking about, that very strong kind of chemically smell, but it just smells so much like paint. Now, it's not a smell that's gonna stay on your face. I don't find that at all. Once I've applied it all and like set it down with my powder, I don't ever smell it again. It's when I first open that bottle and apply, like put the applicator to my face, is really when I smell it, and then it just kind of goes away. Like, I don't even smell it anymore now. Now that our brows are on, I'm going to move on to concealer. I'm going to be taking the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 15, which is the second lightest shade, and I'm just going to be using this to highlight my face. I'm going to take my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and this is my all-time favorite brush to use to blend out my concealer. It's like the perfect little size. To set the concealer, I'm going to be taking my Airspun Loose Face Powder, and mine is in the shade Translucent. I'm going to be taking my little mini Real Techniques sponge and just setting wherever I put that concealer. I'm going to be setting the rest of my face with my Wet n Wild pressed powder in the shade 821E Warm Light. I'm just going to go ahead and brush that powder away. For contour, I'm going to be going in with the shade Subconscious from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is probably my all-time favorite shade for contouring. I'm just going to take a Royal and Langnickel brush and blend that out. Just to bronze up the skin, I'm going to be going in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. For blush, you probably already know I'm going in with the Revolution Matte Blush in the shade Fusion. I just cannot get away from this blush. I absolutely love it, and it's so perfect for kind of any eye look, especially like a neutral pinkish look like this. It is super gorgeous, and I just use a very, very light hand, and then I'll take a stippling brush and kind of just blend that in with my bronzer a little bit. For lips, I'm just going to be going in with the Smashbox Liquid Lipstick in the shade Always On. So this face is kind of a all matte face, but y'all know I gotta have my highlight. I'm just gonna go in with my Smashbox Casey Holmes Collab, because these are not quite like as chunky of a highlight, so it's more of a natural highlight, if you will. And I'm going to be going in with the middle shade here, just lightly kind of adding this to the top of the cheekbones. Nothing too drastic. Just a little subtle glow. Okay guys, so that wraps up part 2 of this video. This is how I achieve more of a matte type full face. Of course, we still gotta have the highlight, have a little smidge of a glow, but nothing too like dewy and glowy. I like this for the spring just because we're kind of transitioning into the summer glowy looks, but we're not quite there yet, so I wanted to of course incorporate a little bit of a highlight because y'all know I can't live without it. But this is my spring makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoy this type of video. Again, any requests or anything, make sure to leave them in the comments down below and I'll get to those. Also, social media will be listed below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down there there so you can be part of the family here. We're getting there to 1,000. We're slowly getting there. Just keep in mind I will be doing a giveaway, so as soon as I get a little bit closer to 1,000, I'll kind of be giving some details for that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.